Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, you guys. Come on in. Getting ready to do a live for you tonight, the night before the elections. Getting ready to set up the paranormal flashlight. All right. Let's see. We will put. Well, that's right in you guys. It's right in you guys' eyes. Well, let's see if I can find another direction. Let's see. I will turn it off to the side. As soon as I can find a spot where it will lay. There we go. That's what I love about this live stuff. It's all fun and games. All right, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you could pop in. There are 5 of you already. Want to talk to you a little bit. Yep, thank you, Spirit on the Light already. Wow. Want to talk to you a little bit about what's going to happen tomorrow. We already lost the election. We already lost this election. Nobody won. What a sad state of affairs. They already won. We the people have already lost. Wasn't the Democrats, wasn't the Republicans. There are bigger factions that control them. But here's where we lost. We let them divide us. They divided us, the Democrats and Republicans, and then we chose sides. And then we got pissed off at our neighbors and our friends and our family because they're voting for them and not ours. Either way, we've already lost a race. Hello, Beth. I got my phone right here next to me. Beth she's kind of going to be my, what do I want to call that? Manager? There's Melanie. There's Sherry. Hello, Martha. How are you guys all doing? Let me know. Pop in and let me know where you guys are at and where you're from. I hope you're also prepared too, because tomorrow is really the day that shit's going to go to hell in a handbasket. Today I ran and got a few more odds and ends, things that I thought I might need, topped my gas tank off. And I'm not sure what's coming our way. And nobody is. But at least if you're prepared, it's like any other form of insurance. You buy and you pay for insurance most of your adult lives, hoping you never have to use it. And that's pretty much what I hear bells going off, and I don't know why. Hello, Diana. Sherry from New Jersey. Yeah, I'm over this whole election thing too. I am as patriotic as they come. My real dad was a policeman, and he was hugely patriotic, and he taught me a love for this country. And to this day, if I hear the song, The Battle Hymn of the Republic, it brings me to tears. All right, what else is what's getting ready to happen here? First off, it makes no difference what side really does win, okay? Makes no difference. Makes no difference. because whoever wins the vote, yeah, they're the happy ones. Whoever doesn't win the vote is going to contest it. Simple enough. We already know that. See that coming. But either way, there is going to be civil unrest. Big cities are already braced for it. All of those alphabet organizations, CIA, FBI, they've already handed out satellite phones expecting the grid to go down. Because that's one way they could alter this election, is if they knock the grid out. And that's just one option. I mean, there's a ton of things that they can do. I guess there's already ballots being counted for people that aren't even alive yet. It's already started. But the biggest thing is going to be for us to maintain our cool when things really get dicey and ugly. Got a good hot cup of tea going. And cat here. So we're going to have a lot of civil unrest. Hopefully you got stocked up on those odds and end things that you can't live without. For me, it's having a good cup of coffee or a good cup of tea. I have I'm stocked up on my coffees, stocked up on my tea, honey for my tea. I'm stocked. So if I cannot replenish those things right away, it won't be a big deal. So many of you don't know how to stock up. I am stunned, flabbergasted, and shocked how many of you shop week to week just for meals. I grew up in the country, and it was in an era back in the 60s. So I was born in the mid 50s, and in the 50s and 60s, and even into the 70s, the good old snowplow just didn't come around that often. And you might be stuck at home 2-3 weeks at a time, 4 weeks at a time, because of the weather. So we learned in the country to stock up. Now, like the Amish, for example, I've learned a lot about canning from them over the years, and they don't can for just next year. Okay, if they're doing corn today, they're not just doing enough corn for till next year. They're doing corn for 2 years, because they use their head and plan ahead and go, oh, what if we don't have a good crop? What if we have a drought? What if we get corn weevils? You might not have a good crop the following year. And many of them can for 3 years for the same reasons, just in case. All that stuff sitting on their shelves. We should all have a lot of that on our own shelves. Yeah, Melanie, because of finances. I think that is in regards to what's going on in the world. Absolutely. Follow the frickin' money. I have been shadow banned, and I shouldn't even say that word out loud because they have sensors that pick up certain words. And I have been talking to you about Big Pharma and how to take your health in your own hands. We have learned not to trust them on a lot of that stuff. But the whole big situation that happened a couple years ago with the illness thing that went around, that was all planned for money, right? Oh, everybody was worried that they didn't have time to test that vaccine. They didn't have time to test it. Aw. Guess what? That thing was sitting on a shelf before they released the disturbance. Before old Miss COVID was let out, They had that vaccine sitting on the shelf. They can't make money off of it if people don't get sick. So then they released the beast. There it was. So we know we've got all that crap going on, and you've heard me talk about that time and time again. Here's what we do. Hello, Michigan. My gal, Carly Joe. Here's what we do. We don't buy into their crap. Do not allow tomorrow's outcome to divide you in your community. Keep your mouth shut. Nobody needs to know who you vote for. I get some people like to brag about Trump, brag about Harris. Let's promote them. Let's get them up there. Just keep it quiet. Yep. Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to know. So let's not buy into it and play into it with what is about to really kind of come down the pike. I even said I was going to pull some tarot cards. I'm going to probably have to grab those. I forgot to bring them. I was running out of time. We're getting ready to have a new moon. I believe tomorrow is the new moon. And that energy, and the new moon is the dark of the moon, actually. Hi, buddy. Come on over. Come on. And that moon is going to activate a lot of these disturbances that are going to happen. You just can't help but have that new moon play a big part in this. And we also have a lot of planets getting ready to go retrograde. We have Mars. Mars is a big troublemaker. He likes to promote fights. We've got Pluto. Same thing. Pluto's a bad guy. He used to be the character on Popeye cartoons. And eventually they ended up calling him Bluto instead of Pluto. But Pluto's a tough guy, and he likes to, throw some weight around, cause trouble. We have Mercury getting ready to go retrograde. We know that throws glitches into electrical systems. It controls communications. And voting is just that, communication. You push the button electronically or paper. It still has to be counted and looked at. But we know that Mercury controls that. So there is a possibility that fly could turn up in the ointment here. There's 100 different ways that they can literally just make this miserable for us. But do the right thing. If you can help out some of your neighbors, in case you have anybody that, the power might go out. I live in a 55 and over community. You can just bet that I'm going to be running around the neighborhood looking after people if anything does happen. Can't wait for this election to be over so we quit getting all those phone messages that keep coming and coming. Vote for this one, vote for that one. I'm almost at a point where I don't even want to vote. Because both sides are already planning their how we're gonna take this. How we're gonna take this. Not how are we gonna win this, but how are we gonna take this? Both sides are. One of the other things that's going on too, the veil is thin right now. I don't know how many of you here. Well, I only have 8 of you in the group tonight. But how many of you have been seeing, hearing, or feeling it just creepy, seeing things? I have been overwhelmed this year by phone calls from people that are seeing and experiencing for their first time seeing a ghost. So the veil is thin right now. It happens every year around Halloween. We're only a couple days away from Halloween. And this energy will carry on till about Thanksgiving. It weans off and gets a little lighter, changes its attitude a little bit. But the veil is actually thin right now. And it's very bizarre, too. I never noticed this. Most of the phone calls that I have gotten about seeing ghosts and seeing spirit are from people over the age of 80. Now, I knew that younger and younger people were going to become more and more intuitive. I did not dial in on the fact that seniors do too. I used to tell people when I was doing my lecture on this that usually women get a little more intuitive after they go through menopause. And that's basically because we just give up the world's fluff. We don't give a shit. You know, here, it is what it is, right? But oftentimes after menopause, women do become more intuitive. There's a lot of things that we don't even bother to put on our plate. We just we don't buy into the drama. So it allows that free space in our unconscious mind, because that's where that intuition comes from, is our unconscious mind, even though we're wide awake. And people are seeing a lot of ghosts. So if you happen to, first off, don't get scared. Because if there just happens to be a bad ghost in the bunch, they feed off of your fear. Now, let me try to tell my little 80-year-old ladies that they shouldn't get afraid because they see a dark shadow. They just can't do it. I get it. So I can't do anything to help them. I can chase those apparitions away, those ghosts. I can banish them for a little bit, but they'll come back as soon as that fear returns too. As soon as you assign fear to it, it automatically starts taking on a little bit of a negative type of energy. Could have been a friendly spirit passing through, but if you keep going, oh my God, it's going to kill me, you can talk it. You can talk that ghost right into it, just like you can. It's still a human being in a conscious mind, just in a different reality. Let's see. All right. Carly, you may not be seeing ghosts straight on, but I know you're seeing them. First off, this is how we see them as we begin to kind of develop that, as it starts kind of coming in and we develop that gift. We will be looking straight ahead and catch some movement out of our peripheral vision. Now, our peripheral vision is controlled by the subconscious. Okay, I just mentioned it. But when you look, that shadow's not there. But whatever it was, is not just nothing there. It was my hair. Was something. But that's where we see them first. It's going to be out your peripheral vision. You'll think you saw something move. You look and there's nothing there. But as these old gals get a little older, they begin to see it straight on. I am. All right, got my friend Beth up here on my phone in case she needs to text me. looks like a decent crowd tonight. No troublemakers. Let's see. Okay, we're seeing a lot of activity. Now, let's just say, first off, dark, demonic, and negative entities are very rare. They're very few and far between. Most of that crap's just from TV. But let's just say there is one. A little negative, and they start out like gremlins. You might lose your keys. might trip on the rug. Little stuff like that starts. The best protection for that is, first off, stake claim to your property. As the property owner, man or woman, you can just say, sorry, you're not allowed to be here. If you are not a direct member of my family, you are not to be here. Send them out. Do it with authority. Kind of like you would a drunk friend. Get out. You're not taking no for an answer. Send them out. You can carry. Any black stone works good for negative energy. Tourmaline, you can have black tourmaline. My favorite is obsidian. I love obsidian. Any of the black ones. Jasper, agate, even, those things will work. I just happen to like obsidian. Not sure why, but it's mine. Elaine says she thinks she sees a cat ghost in her house. Very likely. Animals have a soul. Did you know animals actually have a soul? I did not know that until about the last 10 years maybe here. And only as my communication with dead animals has told me, animals are a higher frequency energy than we are. So it really takes a lot of work to be able to connect to an animal, especially a dead one, because they're vibrating at such a higher frequency. Now, when I'm trying to connect with people on the other side, and they're at a higher frequency than we are down here, they try to bring their energy down a little bit, and I try to bring mine up. Whereas an animal can't bring their energy down. They don't have that capacity. But I still try to bring my vibe up so that I can connect with those deceased animals. And I often have them tell me that they do come back to places where places that they loved, places that they felt comfortable. Elaine, that might be a cat that lived in your house before you did and came back because that's where it felt loved. And it may have loved that at home. And the same thing with regular ghosts, too. A lot of times they'll just pop in because, you know what? Old friend of mine used to live here and we played euchre together 50 years ago. And I'll pop through Tina's house. And trust me, I have those spirits that come through here. It's a 55 and over community. You can also get spirits and apparitions from your neighbors. We call those transient energies, and they move around. That's why it's hard to get rid of negative energies in an apartment building, because you don't know what your neighbors are practicing. You might be a Christian, you may be a spiritualist and just of the light, but you don't know what everybody else is practicing. So it makes it kind of hard when people are kind of welcoming in dark energy. I am going to try and slip up out here real quick. I'm sitting on the floor. Go grab my tarot cards. Give me a second, and I will be right back. If I can get my happy ass up off the floor. All right, I'm back. You saw that though, right? All right, let's see. Since we have such a small house, we are going to do something different tonight. First off, Beth, let me give you a message. Your son Brandon showed up just prior to us getting started, okay? And he thanked me for translating for him and giving you messages that he often gives. He was with George when he was in the hospital to get his stent put in. I don't know if George will admit it, but I do believe he saw Brandon. All right, Beth, I pulled a couple cards for you since we were talking. We have the 8 of Swords. All right, that's Miss Maggie. We have the 8 of Swords. That's about you trying to be careful you don't get up in your head. I know you're worried a lot about your husband's health right now, and worrying won't make it any better. Okay, we understand how the law of attraction works, so let's not worry about bad health. Let's start pointing out the improvements so that you program him to continue to get healthy. And then we also have the Wheel of Fortune. This is a time in the next 2 weeks for everybody watching. And that Wheel of Fortune just is reminding me of it, is going to be a little bit of a lucky streak. So if you buy a dollar lottery ticket, scratch off. If you do play the rip-offs at your local club, you may get lucky. I see income improving for a lot of the signs. Gemini, this month your income is going to be improving. Virgo, Leo. And when I say income improving, that may even just be the fact that you may have a little bit of fun money, chunky money, something. Maybe somebody owed you $100 from 30 years ago and you forgot, and they pay it back. All right, let's see. I'm going to go with Melanie next. Hello, Melanie. Thank you for popping in. I hope you're still here. Are you still here, Melanie? I want to pull a card for you. And you got 2 also. Wow. Yeah, give me a thumbs up, Melanie, if you're still in the room. We have the 5 of Wands that came up for you. That's all about the practice that you have put in, hoping for some change. You've been working towards getting towards something. You've been working towards this change. The practice is going to pay off because the other card that came out was the Ace of Wands. Yeah, there's a new inspiration coming that's going to help you in this project. Whatever it is you're practicing for, I think you got it down. With that ace, I think you got it. I think you got it. All right, next under Melanie, I see Sherry Johnson. Are you still in the room? Hey, please hit that like and subscribe buttons if you're in the room right now. And Sherry, are you still in the room, please? Okay. Got a couple for you. All right. 2 of Wands. I think you stop looking to the future. I think you stop making plans. Kind of like, so much stuff hasn't worked out in your life for you. You just you just go with the flow. That too is to say to start looking at your future. Things are going to begin to change. And it's a choice that you made in a direction that you're headed in with your life that says, look to the future. We also have the 9 of Pentacles. Now, I just got done talking about finance and that we were, a lot of the signs we're going to have some found money and, better income. This 9 of Pentacles is saying it's the exact same thing. Like, be prepared. You may be one of those people to find some of that money, get that refund, whatever it is. But it's also telling me that you're very capable of being an entrepreneur. As a matter of fact, I think that's what you gave up on, something you wanted to be, something you wanted to do. And I don't know why, but I get something to do with counseling. Perhaps you wanted to be a counselor? I'm not sure. Melanie, give me some feedback on that later on, will you? All right, thank you. Diana, how are you, my friend? Let's see. I'm going to pull a couple cards for Diana. Are you still in the room then, Diana? There we go. All right, Diana, we have. I'm going to get the bad one out of the way first. The Tower card. I think that Tower card has a lot to do with what's going to happen in tomorrow's election. Somehow it's going to have an indirect effect on you. Whether you know somebody that gets, let's say they do barricade some of the towns because there is rioting or whatever does happen. I get the feeling that somebody's going to be away from you. Maybe a family member that is at a distance and can't get to you because of what's going on. Maybe that might just simply be a flight being canceled. We've got Mercury getting ready to cause all kinds of damage here. And that Tower card is actually about everything's got to go to hell in a handbasket before it can get better. I think you've gone, and it came up in reverse for you too. So this is something that already has happened in your personal life, whatever the Tower card was, with the exception of what I'm feeling for that person that can't get to you because of the election and what's going on in that big White House. And we have the King of Cups. That can be kind of a presidential kind of a card. But for you, I do feel like this is a male figure in your personal life. Now, cups usually have something to do with the heart. However, I get the feeling that this might be something to do with your dad, if he's still here in the physical world. If he's not, this is a time of great nostalgia, like you miss your dad dearly. And even if he isn't still here in the physical world, you might not be able to get to him. All right. That was for Diana. I hope that resonated a little bit, Diana. I think. Is that right? Beth, maybe next time I'll have you on intercom on my phone and we can talk back and forth this way. We'll get this worked out. All right, I'm moving on to, let's see who's next. All right, did Beth, and we will go to Sherry. By the way, I want to thank you guys for supporting my channel the way you do. Some of you have sent me bought coffee over at PayPal for me. Some of you do things like this. One of my followers over at Facebook sent me a beautiful oracle deck of cards. And she, and as a kind of a second thought, she threw this pendant, and it is of course you're not going to be able to see it. It's amethyst, and it is wrapped with wire in the tree of life too. Okay, I love it. It immediately I could feel the energy come off of it, like it was meant to come to me. So thank you guys. However you support the channel, thank you, thank you, thank you. I couldn't do it without you. Let's see. I did Diana, and I was going to go on to Sherry, I believe. All right, Sherry, are you in the room? Okay, Diana. Yeah, that's that nostalgia thing then. We're coming into that season, holiday season. I think you're going to be missing him 30 years, man, and you don't miss him any less. Okay. I said, who did I say I was going on to? Sherry. Okay, thank you, Sherry. I'm glad you're here. All right. Money all over the place for you guys tonight. Like I said, we're coming into a little bit of a lucky time. It is a time for rebates coming back that maybe you overpaid something and they send it back. There's just money going to roll. It's not going to be big for everybody. There are some of you. Gemini is one. Leo, I might be the other one. It'd be a good time to really take a risk and spend $5 and buy a big lottery ticket. All right, Sherry, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Money, money, money. Financial security is very important to you. And if a little bit of money does come along, it will really give you that sense of comfort. Just having that little extra cushion. The card's also telling me that you financially prepared for this time frame that we're in. Like you did prep, you got ready. You have cash in the house, that kind of thing. That card just makes me feel very confident and comfortable and happy. I almost want to be sitting at your table drinking tea with you tonight. Okay? There's just something comforting about that card. The other card that came up is the Nine of Cups. And that is the wish fulfillment card. I like to always point that out. The way I look at that card, it's also about a lot of opportunity getting ready to come your way, Sherry. That card is about being able to pick what you want also. And I think there's been maybe some traveling that you wanted to do that you've been holding back on. After this election, after the first of the year, after we see how things are in the world, do we want to go to the next town? Do we want to go, Disney World again? Those things are going to be back on the table. So there'll be a lot of things that are going to be open to you again as opportunities. So keep your eye open for those. Sherry. Nah, it's not off the table. If you want to be a counselor, you can be a counselor. Don't stop. What the hell? What's holding you back? Wish fulfillment. Go for it. Get the process started. At least. Don't give up on it. Age is just a number. They cannot deny you because of your age. I was a mortgage officer, loan officer for a few years, and I did mortgage lending and banking. I did mortgages for the USDA, government housing. I did mortgages for them. The Pennsylvania Department of Housing and Finance, I did mortgages for them. All the big banks, all the ones that you see all over the news. And I don't know where I was going with that. See that's what happens when you blow your own horn, Tina. There I found it. And I was doing that mortgage work. I had a little old lady who was in her 80s. I don't know what it is with 80-year-old ladies. She was 84 years old, and she was the minister of a little church somewhere out near Philadelphia. And she wanted to, in her last few years, do some traveling. And she wanted to put a new roof on her church where she was a minister before she died. She wanted to refinance her home and, take out redo the mortgage. And to get her in a payment that I knew she was really comfortable with, I got that little old, an 84-year-old lady in a 30-year loan. They couldn't discriminate. So don't give up that dream. Don't give up that dream. You might be counseling in a more unconventional way too, because what I'm doing now is literally counseling. I do, because of my gift, I can tap into a lot of answers for a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I have probably a dozen counselors that send me clients because I can get to the root of a problem in a different way. I can ask some of those touchy questions. All right, let's see who's next. We just did Sherry, and I'm going to go down in it. Melanie, did I do you? Oh, you did? I did? Okay. Who's next? All right, Martha, I don't think I did you. Martha, I know you follow me. You always, some of you guys are awesome. Every one of you, really. You are probably some of my biggest followers. Getting close to hitting that 2,000. No, I take that back. 15, 20, 1,200 subscribers here at YouTube. 3,000 over Facebook. Some of you guys are just awesome. All right, Martha, I'm pulling these cards for you. Let's see what you got going on, girl. 5 of Cups. And the Wheel of Fortune. That 5 of Cups is about some kind of change that you've been wanting to make for a long time. And on this, intuitively, I'm getting that there's some kind of a little, hang in there, Carly. Don't leave me now, girl. You're next. You're trying to leave some kind of bad habit behind. You're wanting to give up something, whether it's smoking, a glass of wine. I don't know what it might be, or it could be any other little bad habit. Maybe overindulging when you eat some ice cream. Who knows? But I do feel like you're walking away from something and going to make that change. That 5 of Cups, look at him. Now, 2 of the cups behind him are still full. The 3 in front of him are knocked over. You've had enough. You're just kicking them over, and you said, "Yeah, I quit this." You've got some other habit. I don't know if you pick or scratch. I'm not sure what it is, but I think it's got something to do with a little bit of a habit. Now, you're going to make that change, and obviously it's going to be a good improvement. You have the Wheel of Fortune. It is going to be a good improvement. You might be making that change to cut back on something financially too. Maybe it is smoking, and you'd like to have that money in your own pocket. But this change that's coming about it's going to make opportunity out of those cups. Okay? Going to have opportunity out of those cups. Martha, and am I right in remember? I hear a lady talking to me. I kind of often when I go blank, it's because I hear spirit too, and I'd sort of do 2 things at once. But I had a lady talking to me audibly. And is your mother on the other side, Martha? Because I'm doing this reading for you. I can hear her talking. She's showing me a scene in the kitchen. One of her favorite tea towels. It's a happy time. Kind of a fond memory is what she's showing me. All right, that was for Martha. I hope you're still here, Martha. All right, let's see. Carly Joe, let's see. pull some cards for Miss Carly. All right, I've got to pull another one. I'm only pulling two for most everybody else, but this is confusing. It's hard. Carly is a personal friend of mine, and I know her and her other half very well. He's a very, very dear friend of mine. I rode motorcycle beside him for years. He was there for me when my sons died and held me up. And it's hard to read for people you know because you don't want to put what you know into it. Okay. Holy macaroni. No, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. Carly, I'm going to read these off generically to you because since I do know you, I don't want to read too much into it. We have the Queen of Swords and the King of Wands. That's a mismatched set. That is you and Sam. You guys, I don't want, not actually opposites, but complement each other. Wherever one falls, lags, the other one catches. You both come from diverse backgrounds, and that's what they. And you know what? Together, they still conquer shit. I'm almost getting teary-eyed, honey. That's you and my pal. Now, the card that I asked for some clarity was the High Priestess. This card is for you. Leave Sam out of it. This speaks loudly of your intuition. I think it's time you begin to work on it a little more and test your wings a little bit. You might really do well with your intuition in animal communication. I know somebody that's going. She goes down. She lives in Florida and works with the racetracks for horses, and she makes $1,200 a horse, telling millionaires why that horse won't come out of the gate. Knowing you're going to be able to communicate. I see you doing something in veterinary medicine. Lamb, sheep, something. Give it whatever you feel is ailing. Instead of looking at it with a veterinarian eye at the swelling or, like if a pony goes lame, you get certain things you can tell or whatever. Try not to look at it with your eye. Connect to the animal. Ask that question. Just dial in on them. Because you are doing this anyway. I know anybody that loves, especially horses. We raised horses. At one time, we had 55 head. I know horses. And horses read energy. Oh, man, you know that. So start connecting. I have a friend who's actually connected to a chicken. And was able to tell the owners what was going on with the chicken. So you're so tied up in your homestead and your kids and your family. And I'm telling you, that's the way it should be. It works for you guys. I only see you developing your intuition and using that ability for animals because that's what your life is. That's your day. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. And knowing you're going to do it for people for free. Miss Maggie. If it's not the cat adjusting the camera, it's the dog. People are not going to be able to afford to take their sheep to the vet. You're going to be able to tell them what's going on. So I see some great things for you, kid. Yeah, you're very intuitive, Carly. All right. Who is going to win? Let me tell you, it is so hard. All of my friends that do, you can't go any other way. Hang on a minute. She's getting ready to get back on the chair. Keep going. She's a little out of sorts because she can't get right behind me. Get her butt burnt. People that do what I do, we have been putting our heads together and trying to predict who is going to win. And it is almost as though there are no winners. You can't make that shit up. That just jumped right out. Death card. You've often heard me talk about that death card and the relationship to a nasty forest fire where everything is destroyed to the ground. And then it's blessed with a little bit of rain and the first sprout comes up. I literally think that's what's going to come of this election. We are in for a tough time financially, emotionally. But then the Three of Cups. A little bit of rejoicing. We're going to be able to celebrate. We're going to be able to say, yeah, we made it through that. And we are. This is a monumental time in history. There are things taking place that have never taken place since the country's inception. Absolutely an amazing time to live in. Hey, Beth, Brandon's talking to me about the election. Does George get worked up over it? Like, is he a real Trump supporter or, die hard one way or the other? Because I kind of got that. King of Pentacles. That is a dark looking character sitting on that big presidential throne. I almost said intuitively Trump is going to get it because of the pinnacle, the money. Maybe. I'll tell you the other reason. Look at that castle in the background. I think it looks like Mar-a-Lago. All right, one last card. Anybody have any questions? I appreciate everybody you guys for dropping in. You are my Facebook folks. I know I'll get a lot more views once I post this video on YouTube. Everybody will get to see it. All right. Well, I said one more card and two more came. All right. First off, we have the Seven of Swords. That Seven of Swords is about being careful not to get too far up in our heads and worry. And I get worried about that I incite fear in you guys about what's coming, but I want you just to be prepared. There's nothing to be worried about. And on the 99% of all of my followers that we mentioned, well, this, even if we do have a civil war, which that's what it's going to be in our country, it's not going to affect our day-to-day life. Stay out of that. Stay out of the big cities. Just don't go on the subway, that kind of stuff. So don't get up in your head. Try not to get worried. But keep moving forward. He's still keeping an eye over his shoulder, but he's still moving forward. And last but not least, you can't make this stuff up. Ace of Cups. That Ace of Cups actually looks to me like the chalice in a church. Anybody take sacramental wine, it looks very similar. That's what it's meant to be. We're going to be okay. Because that card literally shows the peace dove on top of it. I just noticed that. The peace dove. However, there will be tears first. See the tears raining down? Don't lose God, though. Don't lose God. Hang on to that. Him. Keep your faith. Do what's right. It's all we can do. All right, you guys. I appreciate this. I get a 1 hour video in. I get to hang out with some of you guys. New beginning. New beginning. I don't even know where I said that, Melanie. New beginning for all of us. After it's going to be a while. It's not going to be right away. 2026 is going to be as bad, actually worse than 2024. No, 2025 is going to be worse. It won't get better until 2026. So, you know what? We got this. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I love you guys. And I never leave you. That I don't bless you with love and light. See you soon.